Hey, we're live. It's Torrence. Hope everybody's doing well. A lot of folks are on spring break, but I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Torrence Ford, broker owner of Remax Premier in the Atlanta area. I've met a lot of you from around the country and thought I would, you know, expound on my Torrence Talks, my weekly email, and go into bringing live wonderful people to you to just give insight into the market and kind of what's going on. One really cool person that I've met over the last 2 to 3 years is Jamal Holland. Really cool guy, Atlanta native. He's with Holland Legacy, and he's a master builder, master renovator, and people really love him. The moment I refer him, it's like, hey, now he doesn't have time for me because he's been doing so great with all my clients and referrals. But without further ado, I want to welcome Jamal Holland with Holland Legacy Builders on the call. Hey, Jamal, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. You enjoying yourself down there in Florida?
Hey, we're live from Destin, Florida, but when time calls, we grab good people and we want to broadcast it out. So this is Facebook Live and YouTube on a few different platforms. This is through StreamYard, so it's our first time. So for those that are watching, if we kind of mess up on some silly things, don't mind us with our tech. I'm not as tech savvy, so. But Jamal, I really appreciate you, man. I know were you on a job a few seconds ago?
Yeah, I'm on a job site right now. Yeah, I'm at a job site now.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, let's hit it. I wanted to kind of kick this off with maybe 8 to 12 questions, just really picking your brain and letting you share with the people kind of what your thoughts are and what's going on. Question number one. What are some of the most recent trends that you're kind of seeing in the industry right now from people?
Well, I think, at least for the last 10, 15 plus years, everyone's been doing open concept, especially a lot of the areas that you and I work in, those in-town areas where you might buy a house in Kirkwood or the West End or Fourth Ward. And it might be a 3-1 or a 2-1, just creating that open concept, removing a lot of walls. But since this whole COVID age over the last year plus, a lot of our clients and people that we work for have been asking us to convert unused rooms or a third bedroom or an extra bedroom to a home office with a lot of people working from home right now.
Okay.
So we've been doing a lot of home offices, which might include integration of the Wi-Fi, integration of telephone systems or internet or hanging TVs to help accommodate a successful transition working from the office space to home.
So no she sheds yet, Jamal? No crazy sheds in the back.
No she sheds. A lot of decks though, but mainly the majority of the items we've been doing is like for people that just want 1 or 2 things done to the house is typically either at home office or maybe a deck. Enjoy the backyard space.
To enjoy a little bit more. Okay, yeah. Cool. All right. So I think you kind of answered that. Let's see. Here we go. Renovation time. Renovation. I get this question asked to me probably once a month where people are asking me, what's the best bang for your buck as far as starting from scratch and renovating your current house? What should people consider doing or where should people consider placing their money if they're going to renovate their house to get the best bang for their buck?
Well, I think it's a good question. So I think renovation is similar to new construction or purchasing a home secondhand. Your kitchens and bathrooms are typically where you get your most bang for your buck. The majority of people spend a lot of time in the kitchen, especially with entertaining. So again, going back to the open concept, making the kitchen a joint to a family living space. But kitchens and bathrooms, they sell homes and they also create a tremendous amount of value to your home.
I get people doing silly stuff like, we're going to upgrade our laundry room. And I'm like, stop spending money on the laundry room. Redo your kitchen cabinets. Do your master suite,
I agree with you.
Right. Okay, cool. So what else we got, Jamal? All right. If a homeowner is looking to improve their space, what's the first thing that they should plan for with their renovation, like from a planning phase perspective?
I would think about planning, basically, the main thing is knowing a budget, having a realistic expectation on how much it's going to cost. And then if you're doing it yourself or if you're hiring a professional, having a clear understanding of the impact to you and your living space, especially again with people working at home. Is it going to be a 2-week job or a 2-month job? Are you going to be out of utilities for an extended period of time where you can't use a restroom because the contractor has the water shut off as they're running new plumbing? But basically having a clear understanding of what's all involved with the job, how it's
Right.
going to impact you, and ultimately the costs associated with that work.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big one, man. We can't have people homeless, but I'm sure you've
Yeah,
done it. And, I've heard of families living in one room until the contractor was done.
yeah, that
Uh,
might be the case.
yeah, small sacrifices for the greater good, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep rolling here. All right. This is kind of like a high level. We've heard of some people hiring the wrong builder, right?
Okay.
Making mistakes. So, what are some important questions to ask when making sure that you hire the right builder? Of
Yeah,
course,
I laugh when
we
you
would
said
love for
that.
them to work with you, Jamal, but I want to make sure that they understand how you differ from everyone else and what they should be asking their current contractor.
Yeah, so I kind of laugh when you ask that question. Before I started doing this full time and became licensed and insured, I got burnt a number of times, and I learned from those. But I would think mainly when you're hiring someone, or not even hiring, when you're vetting out your contractors, you want to ask a few basic questions: Are you
Right.
licensed? Are you insured? When you provide a contract, make sure that you have something tangible in that contract and some deliverables. Whatever the scope of work is needs to be clearly indicated on that contract. The level of finishes of that light fixture, that toilet. You don't want to sign a $50,000 contract to have your kitchen renovated and then they give you $20 appliances or $20 faucets, right? So things like that, because again, not everyone is bad, but you want to make sure that you have all your bases covered. So I think it starts with, again, making sure that the contract is licensed, making sure that they're insured, and referrals are tremendous help. Finding out, hey, my cousin had this contractor work for me, it worked that well, or it didn't work too well. And not only
Right.
when you get those referrals, go to the job sites, because again, people have websites that they can steal pictures from this person's
Wow.
website, that person's website, and it might not necessarily be their work.
That's
And like for
terrible.
me, it's unethical. It might not be the right thing to do, but the number of houses that we turn, like I'm inside one of our projects right now, most contractors, if they're doing heavy volume, they should be able to take you to a job site, and so you can see the level of finish of the tile work, of the drywall, of the hardwood floors. Because again, pictures, anybody can grab pictures, especially in this day and age with internet and social media. But being able to touch and see the work, and actually talking to potentially a previous customer to see their
Right.
experience and make sure that you're being guided in the right direction.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I work on a little bit of renovations here and there.
Yeah.
And probably 2 years ago, a buddy of mine, a partner at that time, we asked a contractor for his references, and he gave
Okay.
us names and addresses and phone numbers, but he wouldn't take us anywhere. And long
Okay.
story short, it basically showed that he hadn't worked on a house in 7 months. He
Okay.
couldn't physically show us any work.
Yeah.
Uh, but we went with him anyway, and it was a disaster. And we
Okay.
ended up winding up kicking him to the curb after 5 months of the job site slowing down. And so it's just imperative, based on what you just said, of where I've gotten burned personally, just on one of my renovation flips. So
Okay.
uh, that's just huge, people. That's huge, y'all. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got, Jamal? What are some of the joys of the business that you enjoy? Like,
Well, I enjoy construction, right? So I like taking something from nothing and turning into something. And I've been doing this for a long time, even before I became licensed, even growing up. My dad showed me how to do things around the house. So I really take joy in doing this. It's a passion of mine. Every day when I wake up, I'm excited about another project because we're working on quite a few at a time. And I like seeing, because I can see a job and it can be, we've done a number of jobs together. And when we go in, the house might not look as pretty as to most, but for me, I can see through the mold, I can see through the mildew and see a pristine home. So I really take pleasure in doing this. So I get excited about it.
man, that's awesome. That's awesome. And have you ever had a client cry to say, "Oh my God, this is
Actually, we had one that we're working on right now. She's crying. Unfortunately, she had a challenge with her previous contractor, and
Mhm.
that contractor didn't do her the best. And she's been without a master bathroom for a little over a year now. And
Wow."
within the last 3 weeks, we're almost done. She changed a few things, and she wanted heated floors, and she wanted tile from the floor to the ceiling. we're even putting another laundry room inside the master bathroom, so it's taking a little bit longer. But she's very excited as far as we've come in 3 weeks versus she's been waiting for over a year with the other contractor.
Wow. See, that makes no sense. But it's working with a good team and having a good
Yeah.
schedule. One thing I appreciate with working with you, Jamal, is you give the customer a schedule up front. If you're not working with a builder that cannot give you a schedule, or they start stuttering when you ask, "Oh, what the schedule?" That's
Yeah.
potentially not be the right contractor for you. So, good job with that, Jamal. Keep doing your thing, brother.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Um, let's see here. All right, last 12 months, even through COVID, what's been maybe your favorite project that you've worked on? Favorite renovation, favorite restoration? Elaborate on what that was and kind of what what the scope was.
Yeah, I hate to be impartial, but over
No,
the
no, no, it's okay.
last 3 months, I've been working on one of my personal homes, and it's been a joy. I mean, when it's your personal home, there have been a number of things that I've done, and I'll put tile in, and I say, "Oh, I don't like the tile." Not that the job wasn't a pristine job, but hey, I didn't like that color. And then when it's yours, you always have a sense of, "Hey, how can I make it better? How can I make it better?" And I don't want to say there's no budget, but because there's always a
Right,
budget.
budget,
But
right.
again, I really try not to spare expenses because it's mine. And on this particular job, we actually gutted the entire main level. We have a basement on the house. We gutted that, so both of those levels have been completely reconfigured. And then we also took the roof off and did a second story addition on top of
Oh,
that.
wow.
And so we're coming around the corner on that now. So the majority of my time has been kind of focusing on that along with the other jobs. But it's been a huge journey for us, which I'm excited about the end product.
What's the coolest thing you're putting in the house, man? Go ahead and tell us.
let me finish it first because I don't. It's almost
Oh,
done.
yeah,
I'd rather
it's
show
a
you a
work in
picture of it.
progress.
Yeah, so invite me back, and I can show you a picture of a few things I haven't seen in any other houses that I kind of created, and I'll be happy to show you some pictures of it.
That's awesome, man. Well, look, have fun with it. That's what it's all about. Okay, all right. Well, let's keep this thing rolling. Let's keep this party going here. All right, we're hoping to come out of the light of COVID. We're
Mhm.
down here right now for spring break. Um, a lot of people on Facebook traveling and posting the beach pictures. So we're hoping that we're slowly coming out of this. How is your business changing or shifting as we're coming out? Not necessarily where we were last year, but
Right.
what are you seeing right now with COVID? Prices and just all the above.
Yeah, so prices is huge, right? So with COVID, you talked about before the previous job that we worked on having a finite schedule. And we still attempt to do that, but COVID's kind of changed that just a little bit as far as order material. Like the house I'm standing in now,
Mm-hmm.
we always see the need before there's a need. So for example, when we install our tile, if tile was finished on Monday, a week prior to that, I knew it was going to be finished on Monday. We already scheduled the shower door guy to come in and measure that Tuesday. So then the shower door can go in that following Wednesday because it takes a week. Now that week is gone to 3 weeks because they don't have the materials from that supplier. So sometimes the expectation might not be met because even though you're doing everything you can to schedule based on pre-COVID, hey, it takes 2 weeks to put a shower door in or 1 week, but now it takes like 3 or 4 weeks because of
Right.
materials, and you can't necessarily control that, right? So setting expectations for the customers, letting them know that, hey, we're doing the best that we can.
Best you
We've
can.
ordered
Right.
when we should, but it's not arriving for whatever reason. And then also, I guess probably the biggest thing is the cost of materials, like framing materials, for example. A 2x4x8 prior to COVID was like $2.88. And
Okay.
now you talk about $6, $7 at its peak. And so when you're building a new construction, which we have a few of those going on, the framing material may have been $30,000 just to build a home, or on addition maybe 30,000. If it was a new construction, the framing package may have been like 60 or 70,000. But now
Right.
that framing package might be like 90 to $100,000. But again, you're on the opposite side, right? So it's selling for a lot more also, right? So a lot of
Yeah, the
people thought
homes are
because of
selling for
COVID.
more. They are.
Right.
It's definitely frustrating to hear that, but on the flip side, to your point, prices have gone up, so it
Right.
has been slightly a wash for some folks.
Yeah.
It really has. So cool. Well,
Yeah,
hopefully,
those are
do
probably
you
two of the
think this
biggest
will go
things.
down, Jamal? Do you think the price points will go down ever with this
The
whole
price points of material.
of lumber and materials and what
Yeah,
do you
well,
think?
I spoke on a daily basis. I'm speaking to a number of our suppliers, whether it's lumber, whether it's our paint, whether it's plastics. And the lumber, it's similar to the stock market. It goes up and down, and there's some fluctuations. And my suppliers, based on our relationship, they can call me or they will call me and say, "Hey, Jamal, lumber went down 10%." And if I know I have a project coming up, I'll go ahead and make a huge purchase to take advantage of that 10%. And they'll either hold that material for me or they'll deliver to the job site so I can pass those savings on to the customer.
That's
But
awesome.
I believe it is going to go down at some point. When, I don't think we know, because most people I spoke with thought it would have been down by now. But again, it's about supply and demand, right? From college, right? The more people buy it, there's no need to bring the price down because the market can sustain
The
itself
market
and
can
people are
sustain.
still
Yeah,
buying. Yeah. So until I believe people stop doing these home renovations and new constructions and repairs, I think the price is going to maintain. Is my personal thought.
okay. All right, man. Well, look, tell people where they can find you. What's the best way for people to reach you too if they're kind of interested in having you take a look at their job or maybe build their dream home at this moment?
Yeah. So the best way is probably Instagram or Facebook at hollandlegacygc.com. That's at HOLLANDLEGACYGC. Again, that's at hollandlegacygc.com, either on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay. Awesome, man. Well, look, we appreciate you jumping on with us. You are
No,
at a
thank you.
what, guys? He's hard to get, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. He's a pleasure to work with. He's on point with everything. His scheduling is impeccable, and you just have to reach out to him to see for yourself. So, and his quality is great too. So Jamal, thanks for being who you are and setting the bar high. A lot of contractors let us down, but you are not that guy. That you're not that cat. So we
I
appreciate
appreciate
you, man.
that.
And congrats on your. I always want to tell you, congrats on having that second baby, man. That baby is so cool.
Yeah, thank you. I got a
Hopefully you get
granddaughter
to sleep,
soon.
my friend.
Yeah, I know, right? But I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Oh man. All right. Well, look, be good and stay blessed. Okay. Thanks for
All right, man.
jumping on.
Enjoy Florida. All right, we'll talk.
All right. Thank you, man. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Torrance Real Estate Talks. This is our Builder Trend Edition with Jamal Holland. Thank you. See you next time.